Hi, I'm Dirk Hughes with the Michigan Masonic Museum and Library with some good news from Masons around the state. Today we're talking to Brother Dr. Kevin Nichols of Romeo 41. He's the secretary in Leo there. Brother Kevin, how you doing?
Very good, brother. Thank you for having me on this afternoon.
Hey, listen, one of the reasons that we're talking to you is because you got really deep into some Masonic history by doing your PhD dissertation on some frontier Freemasonry. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. I finished my doctorate last year in history at Wayne State University, and the title of the research was Frontier Freemasons, Masonic Networks Linking the Great Lakes to the Atlantic World from 1750 to 1820. So the brackets are the 7 Years' War or the events leading up to it, and then the end of the War of 1812. And that stresses the importance of the Great Lakes region and the fur trade to the French, the English, later after the Revolution, the Americans. It was my interest in Freemason and Masonic history, plus colonial America, plus the Great Lakes, and all just gelled perfectly for me to be able to do this study. So it worked out very well. My program basically said we need to finish. I worked for the Defense Department, and I spent 5 years in Iraq and Afghanistan working. And so I had an extension of time, but not enough to finish. So it was kind of one of those, we need to finish. And so in some ways, the pandemic worked well for me. It's an odd thing to say, but with my work schedule reduced, I was literally able to sit at my desk for 15 to 20 hours a day, basically 7 days a week from March to October to finish my research. This could not have been done during a pandemic when most libraries and museums were shut down, had the Masons not bound a lot of their primary source records in bound volumes that anyone can buy. So anyone can do this research, even though the libraries and museums are largely closed. I have contacts there and they were assisting in digging up things for me, but thank goodness the Masons preserved their records and made them available. Otherwise, this would not have been possible during the pandemic. Masonry at its core is, there's the charitable aspects, there's the fellowship and fraternal aspects, but at the core, it's still an education and philosophical organization and society where we learn by having conversations and discussions with brothers about any number of topics. I think that's true to brothers in 1780 on Mackinac, as it is brothers meeting at the Michigan Masonic Museum and Library in Grand Rapids or in Romeo 41 today. For anyone who's really interested in getting involved, there's a copy of the dissertation at the library there that people can peruse and look at. Some of the events and some of the things that the brothers were doing during the 7 Years' War to the War of 1812 and things, I think there's some interesting things there that the brothers would find interesting and informative, as opposed to, what's it like to chain yourself to a desk for a couple of years and research and write? Well, it's the same that every guy doing a PhD does.